G'day, champions. Today, I'm chasing a little bit of crab pot bait. Now, I'm trying to find something a little bit better than the tin stuff. Aldi stopped selling the one I like to use, so I'm chasing something a little bit fresher and something a little bit better than the tin stuff I have been using. Not this bloke. So I've headed out here to Lake Awoonga. Now, every time I've come out here chasing barra, chasing yellow belly, chasing bloody any type of fish I've been out here chasing, the only thing I managed to catch is catfish. Now, I know from growing up in the Wide Bay, catfish make awesome crab pot bait, so that's what I'm out here chasing. A few catties. And it doesn't take very long at all for me to hook up to me first one. Now, I'm just using prawns at the moment, dirty old servo prawns, and man, do they cost a fortune. But they've done the trick here. There we go, that's what we're chasing. I mean, a barra would be sweet, but this is actually what I came out for. Let's get this guy unhooked. There we go. This bank's a bit steep. Now, I'm sure most of you probably know, but these spines, super painful. If you get hit by them, you're looking at a couple of hours of a bad time. So, I'm not going to touch this guy. I'm going to chuck him straight on ice, because that is premium crab pot bait there, if you ask me. So, let's get this guy in the box and get a line back in the water. Now, I'm just running a couple of Sienna combos today. They're 8 feet long, 4 to 8 kilo, nice and flicky still. And I'm running 20-pound braid and 17-pound fluorocarbon leader. So hopefully that gets us where we need to be on some of these bigger fish out here. Well, that's an awesome start. I've only been here about 10-15 minutes. I've already got one in the box. I've actually heard you can eat these things. I've never given it a go, but I'll tell you what, if we get a solid one, I might give it a crack. Alright, I'll see you when the next one's on. This is a bigger one. Oh, I think he dropped it. Oh no. There we go. That's a little bit better. We'll bait a few pots with him. There we go. That's a pretty good sized fish. Full belly on it. Alright, let's keep going. Yeah, that bigger catfish was caught on one of these. Just a little herring, frozen out of the freezer. I've got a couple of big potties there, and it's one big potty and a whiting frame, so we're going to chop them up and use them a little bit later on, or when we run out of these little guys on this big rod, and hopefully get a couple of monsters, but we'll see. Alright, let's get this guy hooked up. Let's get these hooks back in the water. Now, the main reason I've ended up in this little bay where I'm fishing now is because it's actually blowing quite a lot today, and this little cove's a little bit sheltered, and I figured, you know, it might be blowing little bait fish and things in here, and maybe the catties and any other fish are chasing them in. So as well as being out of the wind a little bit, which is great, it seems to be where the fish are hanging out too this morning. But then again, this lake is full of catties, so you never know. There we go, another perfect size one. Made a couple of crab pots with that. Much more sustainable and economical than going and buying tin food, which is what I've been doing until. Tell you what, these things are bloody amazing. Mrs. bought this for me. I was like, 30 something dollars for a drink holder, but it's unreal how long they keep their drinks cold. If you don't have one, I'd get one for times like this. Now look at that big guy. Good sized belly on him. He's going to make some great bait. I am tempted to take a fillet off him myself. They reckon it's supposed to be pretty good. I've been having a Google. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh, well, that's the last bit of bait on. I've still got the prawns, but they seem to have gone off the bite. We caught a couple of little ones on prawns. Everything since then's been on mullet herring or whiting frames. So yeah, I intended on using the prawns, and we'll see if we get anything on these last couple of baits. But I'd say that'll be it. Now, you might be thinking I had that fish because it was coming in, but it had other ideas, and I'll save you the time in watching this in real time. I fought it for about 20 minutes, but in the end, it got the best of me. So yeah, as you can imagine, I'm super disappointed by the result of that. That was obviously a huge catfish, and it just took me down into the snags, and yeah, busted me off. I mean, that's 20-pound braid, and I was not stopping it. So you might be thinking, why was I so far away from the rod? Now I've got a couple of red claw traps in down here. They've not really produced anything, but I thought I'll go and pull them out. And other than losing that fish, I've just lost one of my thongs as well on the run back. That mud's pretty soft in sections, and I was not messing around, so it's 1.5 foot under the mud now. I can't find it. But it doesn't matter. I've got a backup set in the car. Should always have a backup set of thongs in the car. But yeah, that's it for us. That's the bait gone. We've got the prawns, but they seem to have gone off the bite on them. So we'll get these guys home and chuck them in the freezer and firm them up, and I'll show you how I process these, ready for crabbing. All right, let's get out of here. Alright guys and girls, we are now back home, and we've got a half dozen catfish here we caught, various sizes. One thing they've all got in common is these dastardly spines. So what I like to do is just cut them off. If you got black panthers, they're awesome for it. If not, scissors and side cutter combo is the way you're going to want to go. I'm just using my fishing pliers to avoid grabbing these slimy things, because you want to put that on your hands as little as possible. Trust me, these things stink. I was considering eating them, but I think you've probably got to bleed and gut them straight away, which I haven't done. So we'll go ahead and get these processed up anyway. So most of these fish died in the ice slurry I had in the box. This last one's still kicking a bit, the last one I caught. So what you just want to do is give it a little brain spike. These fish actually have a white dot right in the centre of their foreheads where there's a soft spot. And you can just bang a knife straight in there. Nice and humane before you go chopping these spines off. Now I've just chucked all these in a garbage bag and then straight in the freezer. Right, you guessed it. We're going to use a saber saw to dice these guys up. Now you could use an axe or a knife or another type of saw, it doesn't really matter. But I've got an old one of these. I certainly wouldn't be using a DeWalt on this, but this is an old cheapie I had lying around, so makes the job quick and easy and doesn't make too much of a mess either. You want to make sure you hold these with a rag or something, because they're still super slimy and pretty stinky even though they've been frozen. So do yourselves a favour and try and touch them with your hands as little as possible. Right, so that was pretty simple. We've managed to get all our bait chopped up. So that's what we get there. Half a dozen catfish, tub of bait. There's probably enough there to do maybe a dozen pots. maybe a little bit more. But of course we've only got 4 pots, but 3 days worth if the bait gets eaten. Hopefully that'll improve our chances next time we're out crabbing to grab ourselves a couple of big bucks. Alright guys, of course you could do this with a hacksaw as well. You don't need a saber saw, but depends what you've got and how easy you want to make it on yourselves. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you out there somewhere. Alright, catch yous.